O Creator, rot I may be, travesty too, but forget not that I possess knowledge. If you cast me aside here, I will ruin you. It would be so easy. I will trash all who you treasure. I will drag them with me to hell. You will live to further regret me. So, we've looked at the original novel, we've looked at movies, we've looked at TV. Let's move to an entirely different medium entirely. Comics. Or, more specifically, manga. Published in Japan in 3 parts between 1994 and 1998, this version of Frankenstein was written and drawn by horror icon Junji Ito, whose other works include Uzumaki, and Yo. I'm sure this one can't possibly be as scary as those. So, full disclosure, I'm reading this from a Scanlation. There hasn't been an official English translation of this out there. There was a Spanish one, which I at one point accidentally bought because I didn't realise it wasn't English. My bad. The fan translation has been out there for a while and is greatly appreciated. Thanks, Daniel Lau. But this year, the official English translation is finally getting released. In fact, at the time this video goes live, it will be like 12 days away from release. It's almost here and I want it now! In terms of adaptation, it's pretty faithful to the book. It has the framing device with Walton, Victor's time at the university, the creature telling Victor his story, the construction of the bride, their climactic fate in the Arctic, the whole bit. It does alter a few things here and there, like Clerval is involved in the creation of the bride, and she is given the head of Justine, the maid that the creature frames for the murder of Victor's brother William, which is interesting, and not the only time we'll see something of the like this month. But the changes are mostly minor. This still feels like the story that Mary Shelley wrote, just through Junji Ito's slightly twisted lens, proving that the novel is still really effective and that there's not too many changes that need to be made to keep it interesting for this kind of adaptation. As a whole, the art in this book is very expressive and cool, in that way that only manga and anime really can be. There's a real foreboding atmosphere throughout, and when it gives way to the gorier moments, they're wonderfully gross. And it keeps up the intense pace so you don't want to put it down. Except for when it gets a bit much and you just need 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, I'm fine, I swear. Yes, the visuals in this thing are scary, but in the best kind of way. Ito's artwork is second to none when it comes to unsettling body horror, and Frankenstein is a story that lends itself particularly well to that style. What made the creature scary to people in the book is that he is so close to human, but just removed enough that he falls somewhere into the uncanny valley, and Ito just nails that. I mean, look at this guy. He's awful. I don't like looking at him, but I can't pull myself away. I love this version of the creature. He's huge, tragic, frightening, and he eats bears. Basically, this is everything that the novel described him as, captured perfectly. This is one of the absolute best adaptations of him as a character. The same goes for Victor. He's sympathetic, goes into moments of driven madness, and doesn't really own up to his responsibility in making the creature, just like in the book. So yeah, I only really have positive things to say about this, and that's pretty nice. If you're cool with reading comics and manga, then this is one I'd highly recommend. The fan translation also features a couple of short backup stories. One where children are turning into dolls, which is pretty creepy, and one where Junji Ito remembers the time he bought a rubber turd from the local fair, which is kind of dumb, but hey, it's not really why you're here. I believe there's new backups going to be in the new translation, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else Junji Ito has to offer here. A direct adaptation into manga like this is certainly a unique way of telling this story that might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's definitely worth some notice. If anything is the reason I'm doing this month, it's to spotlight different things that can be done with this story, and this one definitely deserves its time in the spotlight. And next time, we'll be moving from something small and scary to something big and silly. It was a piece of shit. Could have sworn it was real, but it was really just a rubber toy. I'd always had a sure mental image. Shit was supposed to be coiled up like a snake, but let me tell you about this one. 2 ropes overlapping. Independent and yet intertwined. Compositionally, it was perfectly balanced. It was a shade of brown that screamed fresh. To top it off, on the bottom lay a classy bedding of handkerchief, and didn't it just sit so politely upon it? It was so real, I was taken by it. It will be mine. Thank you so much for watching part 6 of Frankenstein Month. Be sure to let me know what you thought of it in a comment below, and click on one of the things that are around here somewhere. I'm always really bad at pointing to them. You really ought to read some Junji Ito if you're cool with comics that are a little bit stomach-turning. I mean, Uzumaki in particular is one of the most frightening things I've read. I kept having to put it down. I felt like doing that bit in Friends where Joey puts the books in the freezer.